If the WNBA wants the attention of being a big league, it needs to conduct itself like a big league. And that has not happened as of late. The complete league is in disarray, crashing out, shambles, whatever you want to say, where race has become the centerpiece of the discussion when there are basketball games to be played. The Liberty are about to play the Aces. Napheesa Collier just had a great playoff run so far for the Lynx. Obviously, the awards were just handed out. And instead, we're talking about a statement put out by the WNBA Players Association and a reporter for the USA Today. If you haven't followed it exactly, here's what happened. Basically, the WNBA PA put out this statement rejecting Christine Brennan, the longtime reporter. In part, it said, to unprofessional members of the media like Christine Brennan, you are not fooling anyone. That so-called interview in the name of journalism was a blatant attempt to bait a professional athlete into participating in a narrative that is false and designed to fuel racist, homophobic, and misogynistic vitriol on social media. You cannot hide behind your tenure. And there was more in it. It started off by saying this was supposed to be a week to celebrate Asia, Napheesa, Caitlin, and Disarray. They spoiled that Clark was going to win the Rookie of the Year and that Collier was going to win the Defensive Player of the Year in the midst of releasing the statement. But regardless, the entire statement read like a clapback in the comments section. And it signals to me that this league is too chronically online or too chronically obsessed with what happens online. I cannot say for the millionth time in stronger terms that I reject hate and racism in any form toward anyone. But this is an unsolvable problem. The idea of what people are saying on social media. It's an unsolvable issue. I don't know. In fact, you have troll farms out of places like Russia who live to breed this discontent and these culture wars and stir and fan the flames. And going after Christine Brennan ain't going to help anything. It's not going to help anything, especially in the tone and tact that took place when this is distracting from the entire league, from the record ratings, from the record attendance, and from everything else. Now, USA Today, who employs Christine Brennan, also put out a statement saying, journalists ask questions and seek truth. At USA Today, our mission is to report in an unbiased manner. We reject the notion that the interview perpetuated any narrative other than to get to the player's perspective directly. Christine Brennan is well regarded as an advocate for women and athletes, but first and foremost, she's a journalist, signed off by the sports executive editor, Roxana Scott. Now, Christine Brennan, if you don't recall, this is all about what she said to Dejanay Carrington. So let's play that and react to that before, obviously, the Fever and Sun Game 2.
Dejanay?
Yeah.
Did you, when you went and kind of swatted at Caitlin, did you intend to hit her in the eye? And if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am. So yeah.
Did you and Marina kind of laugh about it afterwards? It looked like there was later on in the game they caught you guys laughing about it.
No, I just told you I didn't even know I hit her. So I can't laugh about something I didn't know happened.
So I think it was a fair question. It's a fair topic to broach. And I get it. People are going to say it perpetuates and fuels the narrative and the idea that Caitlin is being targeted and physically struck down, which then activates her fans to spread hate amongst the WNBA players. But it was enough of a discourse. And I would still like to get to the origin of that slow-mo video and where that happened. Because that is, I'm not sure where that came from. And I would like to know what the original intent of that video necessarily was. But Christine Brennan there asked a question that I think is fair given the discourse, and I think was inevitable and needed to be asked because it needed to be put into the universe. Now, I do think her approach was a little accusatory. I would have said, hey, Dejanay, what do you say to those who are claiming you did this on purpose? And on top of that, I would have said, the follow-up, or I do say the follow-up, was a shocking lack of ignorance from Christine Brennan about the celebration. I've seen that in the comment section. That is 3 to the dome, people. It is a very, very common, ubiquitous basketball celebration popularized by Carmelo Anthony. And it's been done in the NBA forever. So if you're covering professional basketball, you should know that. With that said, it's not the end of the world, and it didn't require all that in regards to the statement. And now I think people are just crashing out all over the place because you see unhinged pieces of writing. Like this from the Frankie person that I had in another video. Every time the Fever scored, the crowd would erupt, but it didn't feel like fans were rooting for their team. It felt like a threat. There was an ominous feeling in the building. That is unhinged writing. That is, I am concerned for the mental well-being of the person who writes that, on top of the de-escalation committee thing. And then you got people talking trash about Erica Wheeler and Kelsey Mitchell for what they said. And I thought their statement was fine and good and great. I thought Aaliyah Boston's statement is fine and good and great. Aaliyah is thoughtful and intelligent. I mean, everybody's allowed to think and express themselves the way that they feel on this topic. But by hijacking the entire narrative of the story of the playoffs of the league around this, around what is sure to be a very small portion, by labeling the most popular team's fan base a certain way, I've never seen anything like it. You know, I was leaving the Giants-Cowboys game the other day, and the stuff that was shouted by fans remind me how fans act. Sometimes sports fans are going to say some stupid stuff. And unfortunately, that comes with the territory, as does having more visibility. And then the worst actors are going to act. And then, of course, there are just genuinely hateful, racist people, and that sucks, and nobody should have to deal with it. And I'm sorry on their behalf. But no one cares about Caitlyn, as I've said before. No one cares about her teammates. And it seems like there are some people who only care about this, who only care about this virtue, whatever you want to call it, that has become an identity within the WNBA. And now people are viewing the WNBA like a real big-time sports league and a big-time professional basketball league. And they're having this thought process when it comes to it. Because again, if you want to be a big boy league, you got to put your big boy pants on. If you want to be a big girl league, you got to put your big girl pants on. And I would be happy to help solve the problem. If anybody can actually give a good solution, I would love to help solve the problem. I would love for people not to be harassed. I've had people threaten my kids in the DMs before. I understand people say malicious, uncalled for, hateful stuff. But at the same time, this should be a season of celebration. Asia Wilson should be celebrated for her MVP. Nafisa should be celebrated for her Defensive Player of the Year. Caitlin Clark should be celebrated for Rookie of the Year. Disarray should be celebrated for Most Improved Player. The Liberty and the Aces should be looked forward to. The Sun and the Lynx should be looked forward to. They should be embracing the growing growth around the game. That's what Clark got right. She said all these new fans, all the old fans, they're still fans. They're here to cheer. They're here to root us on. They want to like this. The attendance is up 48% from last year. The ratings are breaking records. And we're talking about this every time, like a broken record.